The land down under is full of great golf courses, but one little island between the mainland and Tasmania holds what some consider to be the best golf course in all of Australia. Well, I guess I had better go find out for myself. Getting to King Island is an adventure in itself. The island airport is tiny and only puddle jumpers make the 45-minute flight from Melbourne. Upon landing, we rented a very used car, with the previous owner still having a hard time letting go. King Island is truly like the land of the lost. It may be only 45 minutes from civilization, but after a few days you will realize that you are at the end of the world. The first thing you will notice upon leaving the airport is the smell of death. King Island is home to millions of wallabies, and wallabies are drawn to the headlights of cars, so at night people run into them constantly. Their bodies are left on the road and you can't drive 100 yards without seeing one dead or alive. Get the extra insurance if you plan on being out late. The island is a little over an hour from end to end and less than a half hour across. Traffic is obviously non-existent, but again, the wallabies are everywhere, so speeding isn't recommended. But don't worry, the golf plays firm and fast, so you will definitely get your speed rush. We chose to stay at Cape Wickham and enjoy the whole experience. Unfortunately, the accommodation experience was not really what I was expecting. The room was a converted storage container and the food was definitely subpar. But hey, I didn't come for the food, I came for the golf. Let's get on the course and see what Cape Wickham is all about. The first hole tee is attached to the putting green and gives you a pretty incredible view of the ocean and the course. The hole isn't very long, but makes for a wonderful start. Needless to say, I was pumped after teeing off on this hole. The wind is definitely an integral part of the design, and the day I played, I had a south to north wind of some 20 to 30 miles per hour, allowing for some 300 plus yard drives downwind and barely getting it over 200 into the wind. I was expecting the greens to be really fast like the fairways, but unfortunately they ended up being some of the slowest greens I played in all of Australia. Certainly not what I was hoping for from the #1 ranked course on the continent, according to Golf Digest. The second hole is in the same direction as the first, so the trap in the middle of the fairway didn't come into play for me as I easily carried it. I do enjoy this design feature though and feel it's underused in modern golf design. The green and its surrounding contours are exceptional on this hole. For a shorter hole, this one really packs a punch. The third is a par 3 with a huge green complex and a beautiful setting. With a green this big, it's hard to believe I missed it, but I did. I found the trap and my normally astute camera woman forgot to hit the record button for my sand shot. Leaving myself a good 25 feet from the pin was not ideal and made for one tough par putt. The fourth is a long par 4 into the wind. The directions on the pro tip card reads, hit the ball at the lighthouse. I hit a little right of it, and it's lucky for me that I did. I think they need to reevaluate this pro tip. This hole from start to finish is a really poor design in my opinion. The tee shot and the approach are both blind. Golfers travel a long way to get here and will generally only play this hole 2 times in their life if they play 36 holes, which I highly recommend. A hole that is completely blind on all shots doesn't let the golfer see the ground interaction with the ball. Thus, the golfer has a hard time making adjustments. This is especially true of courses with firm conditions like here at Cape Wickham. The fifth hole flips around and plays downwind again. After an iron off the tee, I was left with a short wedge shot that I felt I hit perfectly, only to find the ball off the back of the green. This approach is another poor design in my opinion, as the green is tilted away from the golfer, meaning a good shot should land short of the green and roll on. So in my second round, I tried that, only to learn that a small dip before the green prevents this from happening. I stood there and hit 5 balls, hoping to get one shot to find the green. I never did. If a scratch golfer like myself can't do it, what chance does the average player have? The sixth is a par 5 with a large landing area. Thank God for this, as my severe pull had me in the middle of the fairway. The entire hole is wonderfully designed and definitely ranks as my favorite par 5 on the course. The green is surrounded by tall grass, and anyone going for the green in 2 is taking a serious risk. The course and the island is home to venomous snakes, and there are signs everywhere warning you of this danger. I saw multiple snakes that day, and venturing off the fairway is definitely taking your life in your hands. Maybe a first and second cut of grass would have been in order on a course this severe and with snakes everywhere. Just saying. The seventh is a short par 3 that sits at a great angle and requires a well-struck shot to find the green. I failed at this test, which led to a tough chip. The eighth is another blind shot. You stand on the tee and literally have no idea where to hit it. At this point in the round, a GPS unit on the cart would have been invaluable, or at least the yardage book. The pro tip should say, buy the yardage book. Once you hit the tee shot, you will find a wide bowl-shaped fairway that funnels all shots towards the center. The real challenge lies in the approach, which is uphill to a green fronted by bunkers and a well-shaped green. I love the approach, but hate the blind tee shot. For the love of God, just let me see the hole when I tee off. The ninth is a par 5 on the card, but downwind plays like a pitch and putt because of the severe downhill slope. A ski hill comes to mind. My second time around, I knew the line and had just 86 yards left to the green. I will say that the approach view and the shot is one of the finest I have ever seen and played. The way the green is set in the dunes and is perched up above the ground is truly a sight to behold. I only wish the fairway wasn't so steep to start. A more gentle descent would have made this one of the best par 5s in the world. The back nine starts with, you guessed it, another completely blind tee shot. The pro tip says, hit it dead straight. Who wrote these tips? Mo Norman? I hit an iron off the tee and had a little chip shot, but decided to have a little fun and putt the ball. I was, however, struggling on this day with the putter, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Get on the green. Get on the green. That's it. There you go.
Not the worst.
Great shot.
Not the worst. It's a little birdie putt here. Let's try to make one. Mine didn't break. All right, par it is. It's that kind of day. The 11th is a stunning setting for a golf hole. Unfortunately, the green lacks any real character. A basically flat green set among the rocks on the water's edge, but I was left wanting so much more. Ah, the wind's got it. I didn't see it bounce. I see where it went though. Should be able to find it. Okay, here we go. All right, not too bad out of that stuff. We'll take it. Luckily, King Island has more than one golf course, and I found similar par 3 settings with far better green characteristics later on my trip. All right. Thank you. The 12th is a picture postcard of a par 4. Once again, though, it's an iron off the tee. I like short risk-reward holes, but here the risk is not worth the reward. The ground is far too firm to go for the green with OB all down the left and tall snake grass surrounding the green. This is one of those holes that a snake made its appearance, if you think I'm being dramatic. All right, 106 yards. A lot of wind. I'm playing this way out to the right. Well, it stayed on the green at least. All right, got a shot. The green on this hole was my favorite with some really great contours. Too bad my putting had the touch of shack at the free throw line. Yeah, a little tough putt, tough putt. Need to make this. Oh, tough, tough. The 13th is a long par 5 that once again has a blind element, though not as daunting as the others. At least here it's on the second shot, which doesn't have much in the way of danger, unless you're like me and find the edge of Snakesville. I don't think that's beautiful. I think that's trouble, but we're gonna go find out. See what we can do. All right, long putt here. Yeah!
Better than mine.
Par putt. Woo! Snuck it in. "14 is probably the best hole not on the sea. I hit a draw, which tells you how bad my game was because I hit about 3 draws a year, and they all ended up being on King Island." Nope. It's trouble. That's trouble. Standing on the tall grass definitely plays with the mind because of the snakes. A punch out was all I could muster on this really great hole. That's pretty poor there, but what are you going to do? All right, on to the next one. 77 yards. Looks like a punch bowl green. So you want to definitely be out to the right of this, especially with this wind and everything. Let's see what we can do. I like the shot, if it's enough. Oh, just gave me the thumbs up. I think we might be all right. Come on now, turn in there. Ah! Jeez Louise, that hurts. Oh. The 15th, yep, you guessed it, a blind tee shot. I hit the shot right down the middle and still found the rough. Wait, what, a second cut? Oh, that's because the hole sits on ground so severely sloped to the left that without this secondary cut, the ball would roll into the sea some 100 yards away. This is not a good design or use of this land. The designer just wanted to find a way to get you near the sea for the finish, and this was the route they chose. Beautiful setting for sure, but the whole design is lacking in so many ways. Oh, there it comes on the green. Stop. All right, we got a chance. We got a chance. Birdie putt at least. Oh my goodness. All right. The 16th is epic. Not for its design, it's nearly unplayable, but for its beauty. There is no doubt this course is built on one of the most beautiful pieces of land in all the world. I just wish the design was more playable for the golfer. We'll see. We'll see. 73 yards. I don't know how we got in this fairway. This is crazy, this hole. This is almost unplayable. All right, all right. Let's get a birdie today, huh? For birdie. Hardest hole. Let's try to make one. All right.
The birdie.
That's a good birdie. The 17th was my favorite par 3 on the course. The green itself has a wonderful contour in the middle, the angle from the tee is sublime, and the views are magical. Check, check, check. All right, we got a shot there. We got a shot. We're safe. Well, mishit this to the right a little bit. And now we got a tough up and down. See what we can do. Hit it good. Thank you.
Look at those guys where they ended up.
I saw that, yes. The 18th is the hole every designer hopes to get the chance to design in their lifetime. The risk-reward aspect is perfection. I took the risk and ended up in a bad spot with the pin location, but I wouldn't change a thing about the hole. It's a strong finish to a course I personally would call disjointed. I think that's it if we hit, if we get over. Yeah. Woo! Just got over. Good drive, huh? Yeah.
Well done. I thought it was over.
All right, we almost drove the green on 18, and we got to make a little shot here. This is tough. This is a tough, tough shot.
Yes, nice chip. Come on, slow down.
Nearly impossible from this side over here, but I don't know what else you could do. But hey, you know what? On in 2 on the 18th. Let's go make birdie. Final hole, final putt. Let's make a birdie. Let's get this distance just right. Ah! Woo! Everybody, that wraps up a good round at Cape Wickham. I think we were 5 or 6 over par, and really enjoyed this place, but it's very difficult, and I think it's only for really exceptional golfers who are willing to torture themselves, because the course is extremely hard, especially with the wind, and it seems like the wind is always blowing here. But if you find yourself on King Island, come check this place out. I think you'd really enjoy it. Peace. For all those considering a trip to King Island, please don't let my negativity toward the design dissuade you from visiting. My criticism is based on this course being ranked the #1 course in Australia. After playing all over the world, I've come to recognize quality designs and ones that are not quality designs. This is a fine golf course, located on a beautiful piece of land, but it is in no way deserving of this absurdly high rating, with courses like Kingston Heath and Royal Melbourne behind it. In fact, my next review will feature another course on King Island that I personally feel is a better design than Cape Wickham. Thanks for watching, and remember, golf for me is more than just a game, it's a way of life. Until the next time, peace.